Howdy folks, this is the command line Vulpine here, and welcome to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program 2. So hopefully, after 9 years in development, it'll be worth the wait. No, not actually, because it's still in early access right now. Right now, it is only like sandbox mode that's available. It doesn't have like your career mode and your science mode and all that kind of stuff that Kerbal eventually got. So it's starting from a much lower amount of content than Kerbal Space Program 1 has, but of course, it's also has much better graphics by default. Things like that. We're going to look into it and see how things go. There's been a lot of discussion about how well the game runs. I have an RTX 3080 and a R9 5900X with it installed on an M.2 SSD, so we'll see. Right now on the main menu, it is staying at 165 FPS, which is my monitor's full frame rate, but that'll probably change once we actually jump in. We'll start a new campaign, even though, like I said, it's more of a sandbox mode right now. And we'll call this First Steps for Kerbal Kind. Oh, yeah. That's going to be First YouTube then. First YouTube. Not first YouTuber, I wish. That would have put me at quite an advantage, wouldn't it? Alright, agency named. Probably not going to call this one Lightfire Space Administration. Landline Vulps. Flag and colors. There's a lot less flags than there is in the first Kerbal. Not that it matters much. I wonder if you can put extra agency flags in. In fact, why don't I find that out for you right now? Because why wait? I'm going to see if I can put my custom flag in the folder like I would in good old-fashioned Kerbal Space Program 1. Okay, my answer for you is pretty much no. From what I'm reading, there is like someone making mods so that you can do this, but it is not like Kerbal Space Program 1 where you can just put a image file in the folder with the other flags and be done with it, which is unfortunate. This is not a first-time user experience. If you want to see like all the intro stuff and the tutorials, I'm sure you'll be able to find one out there somewhere. But otherwise, we're just going to ignore those. But we can pick our colors, which is new compared to the old game. You could customize things, colors individually, the parts. Once the game was a little bit further in development, you could. I wonder why that's, I guess that doesn't set to her. So you press the button, huh? Thinking like orange and black. Actually, usually you want to go for like a more of like a blue black if you're trying to contrast with orange. Oh my god, space debris. I need a more vibrant orange here. I don't want to overdo it, but there we go. There are some new flags in here, but yeah, there's less stock flags because there was a lot of like collaboration with other space agencies and stuff with the first Kerbal Space Program to get more flags. That's okay. And start the campaign. What does the difficulty settings do right now? Docking tolerance. Probes require ComNet. Is the ComNet already in the game? That would be pretty impressive because it took a long time for the comm system to get added to Kerbal Space Program 1. Do like having the reverts and stuff on just in case the game crashes or something. But yeah, these all seem fine. I think you can turn these on and off as you go, just in case we run into a bad scenario. And let's jump in. Let's see how it runs once we're in. I also have 32 gigs of RAM. I forgot to mention that part of the specs here. We'll see how it goes. Apparently, this one's much more limited by your GPU than CPU, unlike Kerbal Space Program 1. Whether that's a good or bad thing, it's kind of up to you and whatever you've got going on. Have the vehicle assembly building, the training center, probably just tutorials here, right? Yeah. I'll do those on my own time, probably. See, we're at like 65 FPS just here, which is slightly concerning. My GPU is at 92% usage. which is interesting. Like half my threads are fairly active, but none of them are like pegged at 100%. So I know you might be like, I don't really care about like performance and stuff. I just thought I would give my input on it because it's been like a very intense discussion point for people. So just thought I would explain how it's going for me. My character is no longer talking again. I'll lower the threshold, I suppose, see if that helps. All right. Nope, he is stuck again. Well, now he's talking again. This program doesn't work like as well as you would hope. The quick brown fox jumped over the cave. Yeah, I don't know. I have to figure out a different type of VTuber software. For some reason, that one just freezes up when it's not the active window, but what are you going to do? I need to play my game. That's the active window. Maybe because my game is in full screen. Maybe they want you to only play your games in window mode. Okay. So, as discussed, we don't have like a science mode. We don't have a career mode, even though this was called career mode. Or it's called a campaign, I suppose. It is basically the old sandbox mode. So, there's not really like small stepping stones we could take right now, other than, just for practice. I suppose we should just attempt to get to orbit first before we go to like the moon. We could try to get to the moon in one go, but let's just start simple. There's our orange and blue color scheme. Well, you can zoom all the way in. Kind of. I guess it was just accidental. I was like, it'd be kind of cool if you could just zoom to the interior view while you're building it. That'd be new and interesting. This texturing job is definitely much nicer. We can peek in through the window, which is pretty cool. Pretty sure that didn't work in KSP1. Of course, we're probably losing some performance by being able to see in there through the window. And once again, small observations. Do you have like a built-in... I'm guessing these are all pretty much like their old counterparts. Shift for view more. There we go. Yeah, it does have its own reaction wheel. It doesn't have ablative stuff, but I don't know if there's heat yet. I think there is not heat. There is settings for heat. But we'll see. Snap that bad boy on. First stage, that seems about right. Got radial decouplers and docking ports. It is worth noting that this is more content than like when Kerbal Space Program 1 first came out. That's kind of the other big complaint I've been seeing is people being like, oh, really? This is not the right size for this? Okay. Is a concern that it's not enough content, and to an extent it's correct, because it's less than Kerbal Space Program 1 has at the current moment, especially if you mod it. Like, if you mod Kerbal Space Program 1, holy cow. That looks correct so far. Do we have, there's got to be parachutes. Extra small parachute, radial. It's interesting that the parachutes are deployed on the images. Not sure I would call that small. That's a very large one. But there you go. And this should have enough control on its own where I don't need like reaction wheels or anything. But yeah, it is worth noting that this is more content than Kerbal Space Program 1 had when it came out. However, when Kerbal Space Program 1 came out... Ooh. Okay. See if I could like click and drag that separately. I would like it if these images kind of like picked up when you're moving them around, so you know you actually have it in control. But yeah, when Kerbal Space Program 1 came out, the game was only like $10. So, you know, but I don't think anyone could have predicted how far Kerbal Space Program 1 would have got. Feels like a bit much. We'll give this a try. I'd also like to be able to like right click. Okay, you can just drop it. I was gonna say I'd like to be able to right click over there and drop what I've got. All right, so give me a swivel. What's this? Vector. Its flagship engine is heavier than the Reliant. Nearly the power of a mainsail. This is the one that's kind of like a space shuttle one, right? And yeah, the fuels are different too. It's not just like oxidizer and fuel. It's like a methane and oxidizer for the regular engines. It also says this engine stops when it's under 10%. Let's put the swivel on for now. Yeah, that's right. Just wanted to be sure I was correct. Launch clamps. Whoa, we are seeing if the hotkeys are the same. X was still like radial symmetry there, which is nice. Can I like center in on the middle here now that I've like dropped it? Okay, middle mouse button. Interesting. Can focus on like certain parts of it. That's kind of cool. That's a little bit helpful. I think in Kerbal Space Program 1, it just kind of sticks to like the center of mass of the vehicle. Panels. I need some radial decouplers here. Aerodynamic decoupler. Jets and space plane, slanted and highly streamlined. I wonder why it was like grayed out. Anyway, probably would prefer something like this. Let's see, there we go. There's the other symmetries. Don't want to make it asymmetrical though. Now, where is my solid rocket boosters? Here they are. Kickback or Clydesdale. These are kind of overkill. To be perfectly honest with you, those aren't quite right. The more things change, the more they stay the same. I always have trouble with those. Let's see if parts stay stuck together when they're mirrored. Okay, that worked. And oh, there's a lot more engines down here. It's fine, we don't need the huge ones. There's a lot of like, isn't there like tweak scale is basically in the game now? Interesting. I was just trying to see like, so it pulls up like your whole list of everything on the vehicle when you right click on a part, but it deploys the list of the thing that you clicked on. Interesting. I cannot throttle these engines back though. Like normally I throttle solid rocket boosters back because they're too powerful, but that's okay. We don't need parachutes, but these things do need aerodynamics. Oh, there is some heat shield here. I don't know. Aerodynamics. not those. Those work. My orange is probably a little bit too orange. How I'm feeling right now. Okay, this engine. This needs to be first in line. Actually, it'll be curious to find out like if this is enough or if our rocket will drop to the ground. Ditch those, ditch that. That seems correct. All right. Wings and stabilizers. Control surface, tail section. Ooh, something weird's happening a little bit. Those extra small ones a little... Whoa, that's weird. I don't think that's supposed to be like that. Why do they have like little... Oh, because they're adjustable. Okay. I was going to say the small one's a little bit too large. And... Or the extra... Or yeah, the small one's a little bit too large and the extra small is too small. Make it just a tiny bit smaller. Okay, that's done. It's been so long since I've played before, like, life support and everything. Well, I guess life support wasn't in the base Kerbal Space Program either. You have to add it in. But point remains, I don't really remember, like, what is critically important here. When you don't have, like, as many experiments and stuff to run. Surely with a Kerbal in here, it won't need communications. But, you know, we can... Let's see. I'd like to rotate this. I don't know if I'm getting two parts here. Oh. It's not how my depth perception figured that one out. Hopefully that's just one part. It is kind of hovering on there, which isn't ideal. Okay. Do we have everything? Essentially, yes. Almost too much FPS information up here. Okay. Seeing what all this stuff is. What is engineer's report? Thrust to weight, dry mass, blah, blah. Parts manager, trip planner. I feel like this list should be in like order from the sun, not necessarily in alphabetical order. Kerbin, low orbit, 34,000. What did our engineer's report say? Doesn't tell you. Should have enough. We have 5,600. We only need 3,400. So, should work. Kerbal manager. That's what I was looking for. Bill Kerbin. Do characters have like piloting skill and stuff? Doesn't look like it yet. Fly safe. Is that what the name of this pod is? Reversed. Don't think I want to do that on accident. Work enabled. Yeah. That all looks good to me. Is this where I could possibly change my... That's the same as before. Okay. That's fine. Scott Manley. All right. Ye old fashioned. Okay. Send it. Let's see how my first rocket does here. A lot more information going on down here. Electricity. I don't know what MP is. It's methane? That doesn't seem quite right. How's our FPS doing? 60. Dropping down to 45 when I rotate the camera. It's okay, SAS control is the same. Retrograde, prograde. It is nice that these are available right away because this took a long time to get into KSP 1.2. Actually, don't know which way is which. I assume the orientation of the Space Center is the same. It is a much larger Space Center with a lot more going on. Could be a bad thing, to be honest with you, with like that many trees and stuff. Our rocket is suspended very high in the air despite having dragged it down several times. All right. That's on. Throttle starts at 100% instead of being throttled down. Lights are on. I probably had to set these up, and I did not. That's fine. They added like chatter as default too now. We can skip the countdown if we so desire, but it's still pretty cool. And we're off. Okay. I gotta get used to the new locations of the wheels and things. I don't have control. I guess I do. I just had it. Okay, that's what I wanted. Okay. Now I know where I'm pointed. I was looking the wrong way. We're probably going too fast just because these solid rocket motors are so strong. Would be my bet, but you know, we definitely aren't turning fast enough. But that's okay. One thing. Oh. They have added like a real plume as a base thing. Not like literally the real plume mod, but they have it so the engines are acting like real life engines. Where the plume widens out as you get into the lower pressure. Let's see. How quick does it go back and forth from the map? We are in space, so let's slow that down. We're not in space, but we're making it to space. Still have one. Well, we got tons of Delta V left still, so we should be okay. See how the old fashioned does here. Yeah, there's like clouds by default and stuff now. I do have the graphical settings turned down a little bit, which is also concerning. I think they've made time warp better, though. Time warp had a bad habit of not working very great. KSP1. Oh. Okay, I pressed spacebar on accident. That's my fault. We might not need it. Our rocket was overpowered. There we go. Okay, that's what I was looking for, is if there was like a apoapse and periapse indicator on our wheel. This is interesting. Might take me a while to figure out how to read that properly, but it is interesting. There is our more efficient engine, so We'll see if it's enough. Main thing is to spread out our orbit as much as we can so that she doesn't come in too hot if we can't chief orbit. In the end, like physics time acceleration works in more circumstances. Like it wouldn't be able to do this in KSP1. Not easily. Okay, we're getting there. Hey, we made it to orbit. Okay. Now, let's try to land near the KSV. I wonder if it has trajectories installed by default now. Ooh, okay. I did remember. I want to see the periaps here. Here we go. Ooh, okay. Yeah, it's not good. Okay. I remember Scott Manley was saying this is one of the things he didn't like so much. Is that the maneuver node planner, like this doesn't stay up. I need this to stay up. So I can see where my periaps is going to end up as I mess with this, but it goes away every time. Oh man, it is annoying. Because I gotta know where it's at. Critical information. It's more than enough. Now, interesting. I also can't like get too close to my maneuver node and click. Lack of stellar exposure. That's okay. Here we go. Skirt. Acquire Delta V 52. Let's try the automatic orientation. See how it works. Hello, man. We'll head to you eventually here. Okay, not this episode. Okay, too much. Yeah, see, this is not good that I don't have, that I can't pin those, numbers. There might be a way to do it, but it's not the same as it was in the old game, so it's a little hard to manage. There you go, though. That should do it. Then we can retrograde, stage separate, and begin to plummet towards the atmosphere. Doesn't seem right. Are we going like... We want sea level so that we know. Need you to keep pointed. Retrograde. We'll see like how well Valentina can keep it pointed retrograde, because that was a problem when KSP1 first added like the ability for the pilots to keep a trajectory going. She's not doing it under time acceleration, which is a little bit stinky because that was also something that KSP1 couldn't do. And she is like freaking out a little bit, but once she's on course, it's right. But yeah, there's a problem when that feature first came out where it would use an enormous amount of power to let them like hold retrograde. Because there's like some kind of glitch where it was just like they would never stop adjusting. So they'd always be burning power using the torque of the craft. It seems like it's happening a tiny bit, but might not be as bad as it used to be. If you're wondering why it keeps pausing, the time warp controls now go all the way down to pods. So is this physics warp? Regular warp? Because they could keep retrograde focus during physics warp, which I'm assuming that's probably the same, but I actually just don't know. The important thing is that she holds retrograde as we enter the atmosphere here. Now, the music didn't really change as we went up and above Kerbin's altitudes for space. And so far, she's kept it pointed retrograde. And we still don't know if we needed a... Oh, you know what? That's not a curved bottom. Oh, what the... She's moving around in there. Why is it? Why is it like... I'm guessing that's her helmet? But shouldn't that be her face, like towards the window? I don't know. We are going to see if there is a re-entry heating. Because, yeah, I just now noticed that the bottom of this is not bell-shaped, which means it doesn't actually have its heat shield. Unlike the regular Mark 1 command pod. She is holding the retrograde here still. I didn't come in too steep, so even if the heating does exist, it should be not too bad. And now we're starting to get the... Now we're starting to hit that thick air. Yeah, see how it started shaking? Definitely want to watch the electricity level to see if she's draining again. I don't know if like electricity is really a thing either. There's not much that can drain electricity right now, so this is going to start being more important. The altitude. It's weird that we can see her in there. I don't think that's supposed to happen. That's her making adjustments to stay pointed retrograde. I don't have... It does say safe. And see no re-entry effects. Ah, it does show you the thickness of the atmosphere now, sort of. A little unfortunate that we're landing on a mountain. That will be the advantage of having a flat bottom, is we're not going to roll down the mountain. All right, I better play that. It says it's safe, so... Shouldn't need that anymore either. Should be able to just let physics carry us now. This is not really slowing our descent, even when it's only half deployed. Hopefully we'll be okay. We're kind of going pretty fast for this This to deploy. So since we have no reheating effects there, I'm guessing you just don't need your heat shields right now, even though they're in the game. I feel like we should have seen heating effects if they did exist. Seems like the parachute is also like a lot stronger than it used to be, because moving at that speed, I think, would have yeeted the sail in the old game. Deploying it at that altitude. Now we're at a high physics warp, 30 FPS. That's fine. It is acceptable. Of course, the 3080 is a monster of a card. Such a big improvement over the 2000 series. A little on anything before that. So, if you're not running 3000 series or newer, you might be in trouble. A lot more trees. A lot more trees and rocks. I don't want to land on the tree. I don't think they have collision, but... weirdly, as we got closer to the ground, the... that's interesting how it's like popped open. As we got closer to the ground, the FPS dropped again. Yeah, that's the top of her helmet. I don't feel like the top of her helmet should be against the window. She can't really look outside. All right, how do we EVA you, Valentina? There we go. Whoa. On a crashing trajectory. Don't think so. That was just the... whoa. Physics being a little weird, but here we go. Move over to this. Ooh. Yeah, we are not physics warping, and the FPS is not going over 32. Little chunky. I'm guessing it's the trees and stuff. I did reduce the trees and stuff to like medium. So that's a thing. Plant a flag. First landing. It's easier when there's no heat. Oh. Okay. I feel like the physics warp is on. Oh, it is on. So that was I have no control over Valentina right now. It's weird. Well, I can't control her. If I go to the space center, can I get to her? Tracking center. That's a training center, not tracking center. Tracking station. Okay. Valentina Kerbal. These don't quite feel as like this thing. Like right now, I don't have very many things. It's a little hard to see these. Like they're... whoa. Oh, is she back on her pod? Well, now the physics warp's definitely off, but she's still... the FPS is still a little low. Okay. Board. I am pressing F and B. Weird. Oh. Can't she get back in? Well, there you go. Well, I don't know how much more KSP 2 we're going to play right now. Like, I would like to, like, land on the moon just to do it, but it's also, like, not that much different than KSP 1. So I can just land on the moon on KSP1 and it's also not going to glitch out like this. So what are my final thoughts for KSP2 so far? Well, I think people are being too critical too early about it. Like the reviews are mixed on it. And I just think people aren't really like remembering like what state KSP1 launched in. There was only like 5 parts. And like you could get into space and that was it. I don't even know if you could have got to like orbit properly and stuff. There was a ton missing. So this is more like KSP in like its beta state, the first beta instead of like the alpha or something. Obviously we've run into glitches immediately here because I can't like get back on the ship. I'm pressing F. I just tried to turn caps lock on and off. That didn't help. Seems a little strange. But yeah. It's interesting. I'm definitely curious to see where it goes. It definitely looks a lot better, which is of course pretty critically important. Like, and it's also like a different kind of better than like the environmental visual effects mods for KSP1. Like there's a lot more trees here and rocks, and they're supposed to be making these collidable too, which will be nice. The textures on these pods and stuff is very good, and it's not cool that you can see inside of it from the outside. Although I don't feel like she's facing the right way. Is the chair even? I think she was supposed to be facing the window, but she wasn't. Like it looks to me like that chair is facing the window, but I think she was sitting in it backwards or upside down or something. So that's strange, especially since it's like the Mark 1 command pod where you think they would have like fixed that sort of thing. But that's all the time for this video. It's already gone on too long. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, remember hit the like button, keep the conversation going in the comments, and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And until next time, I hope you have a good day.